afternoon, everyone. So my topic talking about ethics and corporate social responsibility. So let's get jump to the table of contents today. First, introduction and conceptual foundation. Second, ethical models. Third, ethics and communication. Fourth, benefits and risks of ethical behavior. Fifth, creating an ethical environment. Six, corporate social responsibility, aka GSR. So the first introduction and conceptual foundation. So ethics deal with questions at all levels. Its subject consists of the fundamental issues of practical decision making. The major concern include the nature of ultimate value and the standard, which is by the human action, then we judge which is it's wrong or not with the different variable or a lot of variable. The second point is ethical models. So when we assess the or measure the ethical, they have four variable. First, the egoism, which is you prioritize yourself other than other. It could be a good point, and somehow it could lead to something that bad. And the second is formalism, which is something that's the right one and no room for disturb that. And then the third is relativism. So it is depend on your culture, the value, the tradition that you hold. And then the fourth is utilitarianism. So you have a lot of consideration of it, which the person who could be affected and kind of things like that. And this is the ethical decision model, which is the question, the relevance to the field, which is have a different from business to the education and etc. The constraint of the ethical and the ethical framework. The third, ethics and communication. So there's two causes of the ethics and the communication. First is for the single causes, which is from the human error. Everything could be an imperfection because nothing is perfect. Even though you try to get the perfection, you cannot get it because you will find the tiny error or tiny problem in there. And the second point is also have a relationship, which is this scapegoating, which means mengkambing hitamkan. You will blame someone or something of the problem that happened from your task or your program. And then the second point, which is the concept of multiple causes, that's a lot of causes, which is from the degree of freedom, the multiple responsibility, the passing the buck. So passing the buck, which means you shift the responsibility for other people, your responsibility to other people. For example, as a leader, you lead the responsibility to your assistant, for example. And then the communication. Communication is really important because everything you have to be communicate with other. You cannot just be quiet and everyone could understand what you mean. Because anyone is not a magician. We cannot have the power to assume or get the point of what you mean, so you have to say it. Because if not, it would lead to something bad. And empowerment is really important. And the next point is organization itself. And then the last one is the manager's role, because managers are leader, and they are the role of it. What is the benefits and the risk of that is the trading staff ethic will lead to enhanced loyalty, because it's not just about paying the salary of your employee with a high level of salary. No, it also how you treat them rightly and increase the motivation and the associated benefits. The second one is ethical and behavior in respect of environment. It's could minimize the other bad situation, the result of the other situation. For example, when you not pay your employee in a right way, you would have union demonstration because of what you do, and it also impact maybe damage to your building because they burn your building, for example. So it will need other else. So it's better for you to treat your employee in the right way, in an ethical behavior, which is in a good way. And then the third ethical behavior, which of social issue and in respect of the communities with which an organization comes to in contact, also lead to beneficial impact on customer perception, which is goodwill, and purchase decision, because they seem your organization is a good point of view because you also taking care of other people. And the fourth is you feel you're doing something right and you feel proud of it, which is something that's valuable. It is opportunity cost incurred by not avoiding the cleanup cost of offering better terms and conditions to workers, and by losing business due to refusing to give bribes or excessive cost of production. And the fifth point, creating an ethical environment. First, make a statement of principle, separated, make a responsibility of it, which is what is the right one, what is the correct one. So the second point is model and enforce the principle. It's not just about talking about that and just put them in the document now, but also have to implement it in your life. And then the third is developing process to support the principle, which is need a lot of elaboration from your organization, not just from the leader, but also from the employee itself, and then support appropriate behavior, which is need funding, for example. And the sixth, corporate social responsibility, aka CSR, is ethical behavior at corporate in corporate level. So they ensure that social, economy, and environmental consideration are considered and balanced across the whole of an organization activity. So after you get something from the source, for example, in nature, you also have to give the corporate social responsibility, for example, like a scholarship or funding to the people around of the area. And this is the article that they take. So the title of the article is Corporate Social Responsibility and the COVID-19 Pandemic, Organizational and Managerial Implication. The author is Carol AB. And then the purpose of the article is to provide an overview of the COVID-19 pandemic and its holistic impacts and implication for organizations and management. And the second is report what organizations have been doing via their corporate social responsibility about the pandemic. So the research implication for academics are offered. The second point is the methodology was to survey the literature and news reports about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and to summarize the result. So the approach was analyze this finding using for part of CSR construct, which is economy, legal, ethical, and philanthropic impacts, the implication, and the responsibility. The finding is the COVID-19 pandemic has an important impact and implication for the most sector in the business world, for the employee, for the customer, for the community have been the most significantly affected because you're just isolated, you're just being at home, you stay at home, and you're not have social attachment to other, even with your neighbor. But other stakeholder groups, societies are being impacted as well. The global pandemic is putting CSR to the test, and the emerging evidence supports the idea that many companies are stripping to reset their CSR thinking and initiatives to accommodate this crisis and to meet what the public expect of them. So based off the situation, the CSR also have to considering of it because condition right now is also different from the past few years or a few years ago, which is have a lot of phenomena right now from the pandemic, the inflation, for example, and the work condition, which is also changing pretty fast. And yeah, we also have to consider with it, and as when we make the regulation, we also have to assess which is is it the regulation already fulfill the needs or solve the problem or help other or achieve the goals of what what we aim to do or the plan that we made or not. So yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for your attention. And if you're asking about my opinion about 271 condition that pretty hype right now, which is the corruption, for me it is really sad because it's supposed to be doing it in the right way because of the lack of morality of the degree of rasa haus oleh si orang yang berkuasa tersebut. It was pretty sad that the people that supposed to be get that funding, did not get it. So yeah, that's all for me. Hope you get something from it, and yeah, let's build happier and better life for our generation, even for our future generation. Have a nice day. Thank you.